Shimla, Jaipur via Kota,
कृपया ध्यान आपो Ahmedabad.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction,
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Express. পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
It's decided it's going to be the Risers and the Riders who are going to play the final on Sunday. SRH have defeated Rajasthan Royals, sent them packing, defended what seemed to be not a very high score, but they've defended it fantastically, almost clinically. For the Royals fans, well, they'll look at that batting effort and they'll say it was not just any meltdown, it was a royal meltdown today, wasn't it? But the cookie has crumbled in Chennai in this semi-final. The Hyderabad team has beaten the Rajasthan team by a solid margin. This is a resounding win for them, and they have booked their place in the final with Knight Riders on Sunday. Well, there you go. They've won it by 36 runs, which is a few country miles when it comes to T20 cricket. Yeah, it's been fantastic from their bowlers. Their impact sub Shahbaz Ahmed and Abhishek Sharma. So the spinners, well, while the spinners couldn't do much for Rajasthan, the more highly touted spinners, the experienced spinners, the international spinners, but here these guys come and, well, they managed to get half the team out. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. With me, Simon Doull and Bhattacharjya. What happened? Did the pitch start turning dramatically in the second half?
Pitch number 7 has not been used so far, so it's not used to Chennai conditions. Suddenly looked up in the second innings and said, I'm a Chennai pitch, I'm meant to turn. Because you saw no turn in the first part at all. Suddenly it turns sideways.
Love it. I love it. And that's good. That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
So, better explanation than anything we could come up with.
I can't come up with anything better than that. Did they bowl better? Maybe. No Dew played a great role. Yeah, and to be fair, they were too good. They were far better. I think Rajasthan just sort of took the gas a bit, didn't they? They did not look like they coped with the pressure of what we felt was a relatively middle of the road, maybe slightly below par chase.
Yeah, they really have. They have made a royal mess of it, as I said. But Hyderabad, well, you got to say something about their bowling. You got to say something about them on the field. There was proper intensity.
Absolutely. And if you look at it, if you see where the match was won and lost, Shahbaz comes into bowl, second ball, Jaiswal hits him for a 6, okay, in the 8th over. Goes, for 3 balls later, he's out.
Yeah.
The next boundary you see is in the last ball of the 13th over where Markram gets hit.
Yeah.
And in between, not a single boundary, not even forget a 6, there's not a single boundary in between. Sure. So when you starve a team for that long, a team allows itself to be starved for that long, that's a serious problem. That's why you look at those middle over run rates, 5.5 and 5.8, they were judged, they had them by the throat.
Oh, you can't win there. If you are scoring between the power play and the death, if you're scoring at under a run a ball and lose 5 wickets, you're not winning that game.
5 for 51 as well. 5 for 51 in that between 7 and 15.
Just March past.
Not good enough. Not good enough. I mean, yeah, we'll talk a bit about Rajasthan's batting, but I think Sunrisers, they just got it right. They were absolutely superb in the field. Again, well captained, well thought out strategies. They went with 7 different bowling options, tried something different, they were superb in the field. Absolutely brilliant in the field. So they deserve that.
And when they talk about their bowling, the unlikely star of their bowling is our Omnigel Spray performer of the day. He ensured there was no pain for fans. This is Shahbaz Ahmed. Came in as an impact sub, batted, tried to. But here, well, I mean, you'll take this, even if he scores 0 from 0.
Yeah, no, he took that first Jaiswal wicket, and then after that, it's just him and Abhishek Sharma. They just completely stopped the flow of runs. And I think it's such a big thing because it's a big game. And the more overs you go without boundaries, the more pressure there is. Absolutely fantastic in terms of doing it intelligently, bowling to it. When the left-hander was there, giving him a single so that he's off strike. You get a chance against the right-hander, get in a few dot balls. I think he bowled beautifully.
I gotta say this though, Dooley. I mean, props to this guy, and I love these kind of the human stories. I love. When we were analysing the bowling, when everyone was analysing the Hyderabad bowling, everyone was saying, there's not going to be too much spin, there's not even any turn here, it's going to be up to the change, the pace, pace of deliveries. Geez, this guy has come and stamped his authority on the match.
Well, they both have, and they've been the worst performed spin bowling attack in the tournament. We had those numbers prior to the start of
13
today's
wickets.
play.
Yeah.
13 wickets only to
entire
spin.
tournament.
I've thrown another 5 on that just in one game tonight. So their spin has not been working for them, but when they needed it, when it was required, they got it right. You got Jaiswal, you got Rian Parag, and then you got Ashwin. And Jaiswal and Rian Parag's been one of the key players of that middle order for Rajasthan. And he managed to pick him up 3 wickets, superb, 5 for between them. Just absolutely brilliant. I thought, we've seen him play little cameos with the bat throughout the season as well at different times. Shahbaz, he's one, and he's a gun in the field. He's just one of those cricketers. You want one of those in your team, 1 or 2 of those in your team. They'll do a little bit of everything, and when they have their day, they do it very, very well.
What was he doing well with this ball? What was he doing which, perhaps got him this success? He's gone a less than a run a ball, and he has been the architect of that chokehold.
So I think 2 things. One is that the pitch did start gripping. So what happens if it starts gripping it? He's bowling it a bit slower and letting the ball turn. And when you're turning it from the middle stump, especially to right-handers, you're basically in trouble because you don't know which one's turning. You have to play for the ball that's going straight, but if you don't, you're an LBW candidate. So he knew the lines and lengths to bowl, and he's a great performer for Bengal. So this what you see in terms of bowling is not a flash in the pan. He's a proven domestic performer.
Yeah.
Okay, comes from a place called Nu, which is Haryana's poorest province. Okay. And couldn't get a chance to play cricket there. They don't get selected. Comes to Bengal, makes his name, fights his way up, and this is where he is.
He's a fighter, isn't he? I think that's one of the keys. And I know we're talking about taking pain away, but he delivered the pain.
He did.
He delivered the pain today through those middle overs. Just strangled them, choked them.
Yeah. So he is the new hero for Hyderabad.
Good one.
It's a new hero for them. But that was Shahbaz. He was the Omnigel spray performer of the day. He ensured there was no pain for fans. Look at those figures. You'll take them every day of the week and twice on Friday. Right? 13 dot balls today. He was just fantastic.
I want to talk about Abhishek Sharma also.
Yep.
Because Abhishek Sharma has bowled 4 overs today.
Yep.
How many overs has he bowled in the entire tournament so far before
Let
that?
me guess. 2?
2.
3? 2.
2. Both the first overs.
Yeah.
2
Against RCB as well, wasn't it?
RCB,
Both against Bangalore.
Yeah. Trying to bowl against
He did a Swapnil. Right? That's what Swapnil was doing. Just bowl the first over and then gone.
And then he comes back and does this today. Also, if you look at it, as batters who bowl, the last batter who changed his bowling action to suit both sides, the last Indian batter who bowled, basically leg spin to the right-handers and again to the left-handers, to the right-handers he's bowling left arm spin and leg spin to the left-handers. The last person to do that was Sachin Tendulkar, to change his bowling action between them.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty decent place to be,
Yeah, that's
ambitious lad.
That's not a comparison that anybody will shy away from. But he didn't do it with the bat today, but he did it with the ball. They were just fantastic. Look at those bowling figures again, and they really tell a story. Like we said, there's 5 wickets for Shahbaz and Abhishek, but it's just how Pat Cummins has used them, and because they got the wickets. What Natarajan has done might go under the radar, but no, not on our watch it won't. 3 overs for 13, bowling 13 dot balls and picking up that 1 wicket. It didn't look like anybody was going to hit him today.
No, it didn't. He got everything right. He would pace off when he needed to, gets the Yorkers right. Decent short ball. Yeah, quite the pace he was when he burst onto the scene a few years ago when he was hurrying batters up a little bit more. But he's still got the skills after that injury comeback. He's still got the skills. And he's slowly getting back into it. And maybe the confidence is starting to rise a little bit more for Natarajan as well. So, across the board, I think, Bhuvi up front, opportunities. He kept Kola Cadmore really quiet and tight up front. That 1 over that Yashasvi got a hold of him, went for 19. But prior to that, kind of brought about the downfall of Kola Cadmore because he was so tight and didn't give anything away. I just, Cummins hit a hard length, didn't pick up a wicket today, but just kept banging away at that hard length. So I think, across the board, they were very, very good. And now they've had a game on that surface.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Just stands them in pretty good stead moving forward, I think.
Yeah.
No. Also, I'm just thinking for the next match, and we'll talk about it later. When you win the toss, what do you do now?
You know, I was just thinking right now, while Hyderabad will be thinking that we got a little undone in Ahmedabad, we won the toss, we chose to bat. Perhaps that was more chasing conditions. It was because of all the dew. And today, Rajasthan will be thinking the same. Going, oh man, did we get this wrong? Because it changed character, Joy, didn't it, in the second half?
Absolutely.
This pitch. And what they were trying to do, like Rajasthan was trying to go too hard, weren't they?
I think they were going too hard because they got choked up by Bhuvi and couldn't get Bhuvi away and then couldn't get Pat Cummins away. So they went after Bhuvi, then Jaiswal, and he was getting it away. Once Jaiswal was the key. Once he got out to the spinner, once he got out to Shahbaz, after that the rest of them just couldn't get them away. Therefore they had to start taking risks. Once you're hitting on the longer side of the boundary, not everyone is built like Klaasen with all the glutes and muscles he has to take it out of the ground. So moment you're trying to force it there, 3 fielders at the deep, you're basically a catch candidate.
A prime example tonight for TKC was just the ability to get off strike. Just find a gap, take one. He was trying to go so hard at everything. No, it's not his fault that they lost. I'm just looking at a player at the top order. When you're under pressure and you're just getting sort of cast almost in one position, trying to hit the ball so hard, just get down the other end. Just, you've got a left-right combination, use it. And his inability to just get inside the line, perhaps, work it into the onside, take one, have a look at a couple of balls from the other end. Little things like that were really costly for him and for them at the start.
They were, because they were a runner ball of just a little over after 5 overs in a power play.
Yeah, and what
you're behind the 8 ball then.
And not only that, at that point in time, Yashasvi Jaiswal has faced 9 deliveries. So Kola Cadmo, not only is he not, he's dominating the strike. He's not getting strike. So he's sitting at one end. Whenever he's getting the strike, he's scoring, but he's not getting strike. So that's the problem, exactly what he said, that once, if TKC can't get off strike to get Jaiswal on, basically what he's doing is he's frustrating himself and he's frustrating Jaiswal, because he's sitting at the other end saying, I can't get at this bowling.
Let's not just only throw the kid under the bus, because we'll have to do it for a few others as well. Because some of the shot selection was not that you'd expect from a team that's won so many, a team that's got experienced pros in it. They'll be looking at that and going, we'll botch this a bit.
Well, they'll be looking at the last little while, won't they? The last couple of years. Saying, we get to a position, first half of the tournament, we look unbeatable. I mean, we were all looking at them at the first half of the tournament saying, cheapers. There's a side that looks like they could go all the way. Good bowling attack, 5 quality bowlers. Batters going well, Parag, Sampson, Butler with a couple of hundreds, Jaiswal finding some form. We were looking at it thinking, this is a side that can win it. But they've just fallen at, not the last hurdle, but, either the last hurdle or the playoffs every time. In the last few years now. And it's kind of becoming a little bit of a pattern. For them. That will probably be more of a worry,
post-season discussion, absolutely.
They just today, even with, and I guess, I don't know if you can fault them, the shot selection, because when you look at it, most of them, they've kind of hit frustrated shots. They were all stuck. Riyan Parag, Shemran Hetmeyer, Robin Powell, all have strike rates of 50.
Because you're looking at, I told you, between 8 and 13, if you haven't hit a single boundary, that means you've just allowed the bowlers to get on top of you. And none of them managed to remove it. So every time they took, it happens. It's one of those days also, you take one risk, it's going straight to the fielder. One risk, you've lofted fielder, one more catch, the next guy says, okay, look, let me just put my head down. 175 is not that big a score, let me not take chances. And suddenly, lo and behold, you look around and say 5 overs have gone. 5 overs is 30 balls. It's a lot of...
It's a lot. It's a lifetime, really, in that time. This is what the captain, Sanju Samson, has said after the game. I'm a little surprised at what he's saying. It's... I like the clever headline. Well done, Bihan. A loss due to. Very hard to guess when we are expecting due. Wicket behaved differently in the second innings. Agree with that completely. Ball was turning. Left arm spin versus right-handers in the middle order. When the ball was turning, we could have used the sweep or used our feet, but they bowled well. I like that. That's a decent analysis from the captain right after a loss.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, that's the toughest interview. It's the hardest one. I mean, even from a commentary point of view, that tournament's over, you thought you were going well, you thought you had a chance to win it, and then you've got to come and talk to us idiots in the commentary box, and you've got to explain yourself. And we're there trying to ask the right questions, but also trying to get a bit of an insight into how they're feeling. But I think he's answered that fairly well there.
And he's been very honest. I mean, throughout, that's what I liked. He's been absolutely candid. He's not tried to hide behind anything. this is not what we expected, but we still should have done something about it. We couldn't.
Yeah, but they were just. I mean, he also said that we were expecting Dew, which is why we chose to bowl first.
Yeah.
But again, this brings me back to the game the other day where you thought, all right, didn't this team come one day before and see whether there was dew or not? So I'm very interested to know if there was dew last evening in Chennai because this time the curator said, or the groundsman said that there's going to be no dew, and there was no dew. Would there have been a change in the decision if they would have known this? I don't know.
Exactly. And would they have known this, that they could have believed them?
Yeah.
Because the last time in Ahmedabad, they said, nobody, we were told there was no dew.
Yeah, that was a water park.
Yeah. And
After 8 o'clock.
Exactly.
But runs on the board in knockout fixtures. Just get runs on the board. And if you feel like you're in the game with enough runs, you're every chance of winning.
You know what's the best part for Hyderabad today? We keep talking so much about the Hyderabad batting and what they've done, and rightfully so, because they have set high scores, broken those, personal milestones, 50, 100. They've done all that, autobahn batting, as I call, batting at 300 kilometers an hour. But today it's their bowling that's won the game, sir.
Yeah.
And a
Bowling
brilliant
and fielding.
all-round bowling performance.
Yeah, the bowling and the fielding today.
And the captaincy as well. Got to add that. And the marshalling of the resources.
And it's something we haven't always given them much credit for. Well, they haven't deserved much credit for throughout the season. So, are they starting to just click at the right time, have a loss, bounce back really well, go into the final with some real confidence on a surface that same block, same area that they've just played on. They'd like their batters to have fired more outside of Markram and a little bit from Tripathi tonight, but they'll go into it with some confidence. Klaasen. I'm getting it. I'm not going to say you did the same thing. Why are we doing that tonight? Thank you, Joy. Klaasen and Tripathi. They would like their batters to produce a little bit more, but that was a terrific bowling performance. And as I say, we haven't talked much about them throughout the season.
Yeah, and we're talking about options, right? I mean, there was one team, Rajasthan, that went with their 5 bowlers and kind of knew then what to expect, and they did really well. You would have to say that the Rajasthan bowlers can definitely walk away with their head held high because they did really well, especially the last 2 overs, giving only, 12 runs, which was Avesh and Sandeep. But when you come to the Hyderabad bowlers, the options that they have, the options has allowed them today to bowl Unadkat for just one over. And that was a good over.
It was a decent over, very decent over.
Yeah. He bowled a good over. He had that change of pace. He was giving you exactly what you expect. So there's a lot of options. You're looking at this going into the final and saying, all right, this is good.
Because in effect, they got 4 overs of Abhishek, which they don't use at all.
Yeah.
1 of Markram and probably 2 extra from Shahbaz. So they got 7 overs where they didn't expect a single over normally.
Yeah, which is what has allowed them to. Imagine you have a bowler who's bowling in the form like Natarajan is in, and you still don't need his 4th. You're like, buddy, you're great, but we don't need your 4th.
Yeah,
won.
Superb, absolutely superb. And like you say, when different players are contributing to wins like that, particularly big games, knockout contests, different players performing, that's what you want going into a grand final.
Simon Doull, do you agree with me? Bowling captains better than batting captains?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
No skin in the game for Dooley. I'm completely neutral. Completely objective.
Very neutral.
Sir.
Yes.
How many bowling captains have won the IPL?
Shane Warne.
Keep going.
Does it end there? That's it? Yep, I think the list ends there, doesn't it?
How many bowling captains have been here, though? That's the thing.
Daniel Vittori has played a final.
Yeah.
We've had Sean Pollock as bowling captain, but not purely bowling captain.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Pat Cummins. Anybody else? I'm thinking. Anil Kumble for Bangalore played a final as well.
Played a final.
Yeah, played a final.
So Kumble played a final, Vittori played a final. Shane Warne played a final, won a final.
Boovie captained
Who did Vetri play the final with?
RCB?
In 15.
RCB 15 final was, I think, Vittori
Was he
captain.
captaining?
Yeah, I think it was. We'll check that
Was
out.
he captain?
I think Vittori's captain the final.
Oh, I must have. Okay.
Doesn't he? Just before Virat? The earlier one. The earlier final.
Maybe?
Could be, yeah. No, 11 and 15.
Keep stalling. He's searching. Keep stalling. Say something. Just say stuff. Tell us Daniel Vittori's star sign. If you know.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know.
Tell us where he's from.
He is from Hamilton.
Okay. Great. We've been to Hamilton.
Yeah,
You're from Hamilton.
Yeah, went to St Paul's Collegiate in Hamilton, where my son went, actually. Started off bowling seam up. He was a quick bowler. Had a nasty car accident at the age of 15, 16. Broke his back.
What?
And then took up left-arm spin bowling and became New Zealand's best ever left-arm spin.
I didn't know that. You took me around Hamilton Stadium. You just showed me your picture. You never told
Yeah,
me
sorry.
this story.
Yeah. Well, mine was the main one.
Of course, and I'm just saying Simon Doull's son, who went to that school, is called Hunter.
He is.
Whose name is this, shares a name with Joe Biden's son.
Yep.
President of America's son is also
But he's
called
better
Hunter.
behaved.
But I
He's
can
better
actually,
behaved
I
than
can
this.
remember my son's name.
All right, he's found it. We don't need to spoil it. What is it? What is it? Did Vittori captain the final? Did he? 2011. Yeah, he did it.
11.
That was
There
right.
you go.
Jeez.
Okay.
I thought, sometimes I can't, when we were eating dinner, I couldn't remember who I'd spoken to yesterday, but sometimes from things from 2011 I can remember. But yes, bowling captains.
Yeah.
Now Pat Cummins in the final. Can he do it then? I'll tell you what, this is a confident team going into the final because their bowling's done well today, right? Their batting, yeah, okay, maybe they've had a kind of 50-50 day today, but they're not going to mind because they know what the capability of their batting is, and now they've played on this ground. They know what this is.
Yeah, I think they like their chances. Again, I also think that Cummins their team works better as the underdog. Okay, KKR is there, all the hype is with them, they are favourites. They'd play it like that and say, you know what, we can surprise a few people.
Yeah.
If you get 80 in the first 6 and suddenly
Yeah.
smash them, God knows what's going to happen. So something can give. So I think Cummins is one thing, he's just a brilliant motivator. He knows what to say when.
Yeah.
And today, I mean, the first thing, just taking that first toss, taking the opening ball, taking the new ball.
Yeah.
And just hitting the pitch hard.
We called that, didn't we? Yeah. It's good when a captain does that because he's also copped a bit of criticism that, he would only come on to bowl kind of slightly easier overs. He's not bowling in the power play. But the second half of the tournament, you've seen that he's taken the tough bowling positions, the tough bowling overs. So, yeah, he's been fantastic. I know it's going to be quite crazy if the same guy in 6 months picks up 2 trophies in India.
Everyone's looking around and saying,
There's a bit of trauma for Indian fans.
Yeah.
and if he had to pick up one, they would have probably preferred this one rather than the other
Not
one.
that one. Take this one. Take this one. Leave the other one. All right, but just wrapping up the season for the Royals. This has been, they've flattered to deceive yet again. And that for me as, a cricket fan and a fan of this team and the way they play, that's been disappointing because the month of April for them was fantastic. I don't know what happened in the month of May. I don't know whether, just astrologically they don't like that month, but it's not been.
How do you replace Joss Butler? And with all due respect, I love TKC. He's a really nice young man, but how do you replace Joss Butler? And this comes down to auction strategies.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing you would have had a fair idea. You would have had a fair idea that he wasn't going to be available for the back end of the tournament with England. This schedule with England and Pakistan's been out for a long time. He's the captain. So what do you do at the auction table?
We just told, I'm really sorry, but just to add, Michael Vaughan told us the other day that apparently there was a written assurance guarantee given
That
by
they'll be there till the 27th.
the board that they'll be there till the final.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Michael Vaughan said. Now,
Yeah, that's exactly my point. That's the
How
only
would,
reason.
okay. Oh, well, if they've known that and they've gone back on that, then that's not right.
Not only that,
Take my point
if they've
back,
gone back
yeah.
on that, the danger is the next time kids like Will Jackson all want to come to this tournament, great
Yeah,
players,
yeah.
everyone's going to turn around and say, we love you, but we're not sure what your board says.
Well, that's it.
That's not good for
We
them.
can't trust the board.
Yeah, it's not good for
so
them.
that's not a good thing from an ECB point of view. Then I guess if that was the case.
If that is the case, that's
Yeah.
what.
but still, they missed him.
They missed him. And when you take one of the best players out of any team, it's tough to bring another one in.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the one thing they'll look at. It's what's the success in this tournament though? I mean, yeah, everyone wants to win it. But you've had 3 pretty successful seasons in a row for a franchise that was third least
Yeah, they would qualify
monetary.
once every 3 years. Yeah.
But I mean, I think from a buying point of view, it was the 3rd least expensive franchise or
No,
the
it
2nd?
was the least.
The least.
It was the least.
Yeah, the least.
So there you go. Okay.
50-something million, wasn't it?
67 million.
So in the
No, I think it
original,
was 50-something. But anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in the original time, it was the least expensive franchise.
Yeah.
You've just gone 3 pretty successful seasons in a row.
Yeah.
And success in this competition, finals, Final 4, keeps your sponsorship rolling over. No one gets less money from the television rights.
Yeah.
So I still think it's a pretty successful season for them.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I think from a high end, from a boardroom, when they look back on it in a month's time and they forget about the disappointment of this, I think they'll put it down to
so you're looking
a
at it in
relatively
terms of
good
Fair enough. You're looking at it in terms of a business, but if you look at it in terms of the cricket team, they'd be disappointed saying 30th of April, they were being touted as, well, these guys should have their fingers on the trophy.
100%.
Yeah, they should have the trophy in their hands. From that to come here, they'll be a little disappointed about that, because the reason is because this has happened to them again year after year. The pattern is
last year also they were very close to qualification and just tailed off in the last 3-4 matches. I think that's the one thing they look at. They're ending. They haven't ended well. They've started well and they haven't ended well.
Yeah.
And it just mirrors. In fact, in some ways, it mirrors Sanju Samson, what he does. And every year he started off well. I think this year he went on much more. He's been much more consistent. He's had a 500-run season. Riyan Parag has been an absolute revelation this year. But that's the thing. The day those two failed was, their most consistent players were Sanju Samson and Riyan Parag.
Yeah.
Today was the day both failed.
Yeah. What are the other pluses that Rajasthan will take from this season?
Chehal's form continues. Bolt, in most occasions in the power play. Avish Khan. I think Avish Khan is a massive tick in the box for them this season.
So the bowlers, basically.
Yeah, I think from a bowling point of view, and Riyan Parag, Sandeep Sharma again, and Riyan Parag. I don't think they've got what they expected out of Shimron Hetmeyer this season, and the lack of international cricket, the lack of fitness, I think is telling a little bit on that front. And Jaiswal, he had a magnificent 18 month. They were expecting way more. They were expecting 550, 600 from him.
600-run season last year.
They were probably expecting that, and they didn't get that this year, but they've still got this far.
Well, that's it for the Rajasthan Royals then. But SRH, geez, they are playing an interesting brand of cricket. If you were thinking they're just batting everybody away, blowing everybody off the park, they have changed that perception, and they've changed it beautifully. And we always say batters win you games, bowlers win you trophies. This bowling unit is looking pretty solid, and they're up against a very solid bowling lineup in the final. We'll get to that in just a second, but right now, just to wrap this game up, some of the cool moments that happened in a not-so-cool Chennai. Carrier room air conditioners, coolest moment of the match. I'll tell you, you need a few room air conditioners in that stadium. But what did you think? Who's going first? Come on.
I'm going to go with, Joy touched on it before, but Abhishek Sharma's delivery to Shimron Hetmeyer. I love the fact that he goes around the wicket to the right-handers and does a little bit of orthodox spin. The one that got Hetmeyer is the one that he sort of flicks out the front of the hand, tries to bowl a leg break, but it doesn't really leg break. It just doesn't turn back into the left-hander, kind of skids through and picked up Shimron Hetmeyer. So Abhishek Sharma to Hetmeyer, my carrier room air conditioner's coolest moment of the match.
Love it. And yours?
Before I say that, can we just have 3-4, ACs sent to Tom Kohler-Cadmore, because clearly he needs them. The way he was sweating today, poor guy. Let's just send him 3-4 and just...
There's a great advertisement for carrier there, isn't it? Tom Kohler-Cadmore.
I like it. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, today I'm going to talk about something which is, really a small part of the game, but I think it's so important. Aiden Markram comes in today, expected to do something with the bat, does nothing with the bat, does some, bowls, doesn't bowl a great over, but takes a really vital catch. Sanju Samson takes a really vital catch in the outfield, makes it look easy, and then he bowls probably the worst ball in the history of the tournament. Yeah. Right over the the keeper's head.
Slipped,
No. And then the next ball, where, the
free hit
is waiting to whack it, bowls a beauty which turns away and doesn't give a single run. And I sometimes feel that these small things change momentum, 1-6 there, something changes. So I feel today, SRH won the small moments, the little moments, the little battles. And I think Aiden Markram is symbolic of that though he didn't contribute with the bat, he helped them win some small moments.
Well, those little moments added up quite a bit. They won by 36 runs. Big margin indeed for, especially for a semi-final. Would have expected it to be much closer. We have a few tweets that have come in. Let's read those out. Pull them up on screen. Come on, bring in. Here is Arush Munjal, the spell of Shahbaz and Abhishek, getting the wickets of Jaiswal, Samson, Parag, Ashwin, putting Hyderabad in pole position in the knockout clash. Yep, we spoke about that, Arush. Absolutely agree with you. Next one is from Udita Burman. On a pitch where batters struggled against spin, Klaasen's effortless sixes. The thing is, His effortless sixes, well, that's a very thick book now. Very thick. And our last one is from Mehul Chaturvedi. Abhishek Sharma contributing with the ball. My coolest moment of the match. Absolutely right, Mehul. He's a very chill player. Love it. He's a chill player. I have enjoyed his batting so much in this tournament. I think in terms of uncapped Indians, yeah, perhaps just up there for me.
He and Rian Parag.
Yeah.
Any other real uncapped? I think they'd be the two at the top of the tree.
I like, but quite a few this year. I mean, Shashank Singh.
Yeah, Shashank.
Ashutosh.
Yeah. I'm just liking the fact that this is genuine all-rounder stuff. If you can open and you can bowl 4 overs a day of pitches, you'll not bowl it every day, but if your captain has faith in you to get 4 overs out of you, geez, that's gold dust in T20, especially if he plays for India. Well, not if, it looks like a when.
Yeah.
That'll be gold dust because there's no impacts up there.
Well, that's the one thing India have been missing massively, is players in their top 5, 6
Who can
bowl a couple of overs in T20 cricket. Now, if you look at the side that's going down to the Caribbean and post that tournament, if you take away what we think you take away, and all of a sudden you got Abhishek and Ruturaj at the top, or Jaiswal or Shubman, whoever you like. I think Sky stays in and about, but you might have a couple of guys if Shivam Dubey stays. You might have a couple of guys who can bowl you 2 or 3 overs in that top 5, and I think that then becomes crucial. You can then bat deeper and pick 4 genuine bowlers, and then you have 2 or 3 all-rounders who can do the job, 2 of which bat in your top 5.
It's a KKR business model, I call it. In the top 6, can you have a wicket-keeper in 6 overs?
Yeah. 6 wicket-keeper, that's perfect. Wicket-keeper 6 overs, you've summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
It's KKR and Australian model. Australia is exactly the same.
Yeah,
with Mitch Marsh, Stoinis.
Yeah.
They tend to get 16 in their top 6.
Green, Maxwell.
All of them.
They could get they could get 16 overs out of their top 5, top 6. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. But yeah, Abhishek Sharma was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, these were our Carrier room air conditioners' coolest moment of the match. I'll tell you what else is cool.
Come on,
For
tell
the
me.
final on Sunday. Yeah. I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
All the players can leave for the US and not West Indies, the US first. All the players for the Indian team can leave for the US today because there's not one from that squad playing the final.
Is there not?
No, you're right. There's not a single.
You're scanning the squad, aren't you?
Wow.
You're doing STS, scanning the squad.
You're right. There's nothing.
None.
Nothing doing from either side.
Yep. All 15 gone, so don't have to worry. Everybody can dive around. Just scrape yourself. It's fine. I hope you don't, but if you do, it's okay. You've got time to rest.
So Sanju and Chahal were the last.
Yep.
That's it.
Sanju and Chahal were the last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaiswal.
And Jaiswal.
And
sorry.
Jaiswal.
Yes.
Done.
Three of them in this team, but that's it. There you go. And of course, no England. So no India players, no England players are playing the final. There's a few Australians around. There's a few West Indians around. Yeah, but these two teams, geez, they're going to give us a cracker final, aren't they? Because both of them have played a fantastic brand of cricket, Joy.
I love the way they played. Both of them have played, and they've set the tournament alight. I mean, really, if you look at it, 3 teams have dominated this tournament. Rajasthan at the start, Kolkata slightly in the middle, and then throughout. And then Sunrisers have just played such an attractive brand of cricket. You know, this 230, 240 scores, twice breaking their record for, highest total. They've just lit up the IPL.
Yeah, I would like them to repeat the first game that they played at Eden, the close one with Klaasen in the last over, and not the first qualifier.
Yeah.
I want them to repeat that kind of game.
The first game, yeah.
For the final.
And I mean, I know we're going back some months now, but who are we to say that money does not buy you trophies, eh? Yeah. Who are we? The 2 most expensive purchases at the auction, going head to head in the big dance.
Yeah.
Teams that spent the money, Cummins at 22.
Yeah,
20.5?
20.5 was it, and Stark at 24.
4.75?
Yeah, I thought you were.
Yep,
So
24
spend the
numbers
money.
correct. Yes.
Spend the money, get the results. The big boys going head
I
to
like
head.
it. I like
Yeah.
it.
But can I say, when it comes to bang for buck, I mean, not that you're comparing anybody, but geez, Pat Cummins has given a bang for every rupee out of those 20.5, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He's changed that. He's galvanized the team. He's just changed it. He's led from the front. He's done everything there is to do with this team. I mean, he's been absolutely superb.
Yeah, and with Mitchell Starc, the first few games, playing in IPL after 9 years, so it took a little while to find his footing. But there's two things that have happened with him. One, of course, in a big game, he managed to make the big impact and they won the first qualifier. And more importantly, and I'm sure there's an effect there as well. Simon, when you're with young pace bowlers like Vaibhav Arora and Harshit Rana, who've also done very well this year, right? I'm sure that kind of experience, those two boys would have been chomping his ear.
You would hope so. And he's a great guy, Mitch Starc. He'd be more than happy to sit down with anyone and have a chat about it, particularly young bowlers. He loves the game. He watches so much cricket, not only men's cricket, he watches a lot of women's cricket as well, obviously because of his wife playing, and he attends games where she's playing. He's what the Aussies call a nuffy. Cricket, no, he just can't get enough. And I think if those young men are sort of sidled up to him in any situation, whether it be the nets, in the changing room, on the team bus, he'd be more than happy to have a chat to them, to chat fast bowling, to chat what he does, his strategies, all of those things. So, and I'm pleased for him because it's tough, and we talk about it. The money's not his fault.
Yeah.
We talked about it at the start of the tournament. Not your fault. Well, you go to an auction, like you sell your house, 2 people want it, and the bidding just keeps going up, and you say, man, I got way more than I expected for it. Fair. That is what an auction is all about. He can't control the money. He can only put his name up and say, this is what my base price is. I won't sell for less than that. And then you guys duke it out. And teams duked it out properly, didn't they? They had a right go for him. And that would have been playing on his mind. 100%. No matter how good you are, how many test matches, ODIs, T20s you played, that would have been playing on his mind.
Yeah, because it brings what I definitely feel is undue attention, because you're so right. Yeah. He didn't choose his price. No. But I guess what happens is that on the outside, when you're looking, I only look at it saying, okay, so many teams wanted you and they wanted you so bad. Yep. I guess maybe that can play on your mind as well, that, yeah, man, they really wanted me bad and there's so much attention on me with
there
this.
There is pressure. Pressure tells, and look, they handle it better. I mean, if you look at it, I've seen classic cases where people have been paid too much. There was a classic case of this really talented young cricketer called Pawan Negi, who was the flavour of the season 1 and suddenly went for 8.5 crores in a season where he was the biggest. And
I remember this.
I mean, at least Pat Cummins has that international record. Mitch Starc, Pat Cummins, international players, they have that understanding of what big situations are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the pressure will come on you. Whether you like it or not, that figure is going to be, you're stamped with that figure. It's with your T-shirt name, that figure is also on your T-shirt, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah. Just to make it easy for the income tax authorities. This is how much money I made. All right, but on the other side, there's a bowling coach as well who wanted like for like. Yes, Daniel Vettori said, I wanted some left-arm orthodox to come into the game, and that's why Abhishek and Shahbaz bowled 8 overs. Wonder why Vettori said that. Yeah, wonder why. But no changes in this team for the final. You don't see it happening at all. No chance.
Well, I mean, their only option today, they could have brought Glenn Phillips in ahead of Markram and just given them a bit more power.
Yeah.
Markram maybe offers slightly more batsmanship, but he hasn't had a good season when he has had opportunities. I think Phillips is a better bowler, and I don't know that there's a huge amount of difference in the field. Markram's a gun in the field. He's got brilliant hands, but Phillips is the same. But having won tonight's game, I can't see them changing it now.
Yeah.
For the final.
They won't change the bowlers. Pat Cummins even said that having Natarajan and Jaydev Unadkat and Bhuvi with me makes my job easier.
Yeah.
He's being very gracious about that, and that's great. They're gun bowlers, and all 3 of them have kind of come into form at the right time. So this bowling unit, just take it back to the trophy that they won 7 years ago, right? 7 years ago.
Yeah,
it was their bowling. It was their bowling. They would defend 125. They would defend 140. They were just
Mustafizur was fantastic for them.
Gun bowling attack. Bhuvi was there as well.
Bhuvi was always there.
Yeah.
But also, what is it about Australian skippers, teams from Hyderabad, Deccan Chargers, Adam Gilchrist, 2009.
Oh, three-peat. Are we looking at a three-peat?
2016. Yeah, this is another Australian captain.
I like it.
It hasn't yet happened. And yeah, as I said, and the producer who told me about this is quite sure he doesn't want it to happen. But
because he's a KKR fan, is he? Yeah, well, Australian biryani, anybody? Is that what it is? Some roux.
With some roux
biryani
in it, mate.
Or, on the other hand, I just want to tell you, Joy, that since you're been a part of the Knight Riders team as well, there's a chance for a three-peat there as well. Gautam Gambhir and Knight Riders.
Gautam Gambhir and Knight Riders, they won their first title, I think, on the 7th of
No,
May.
stop.
So 26, just one day earlier.
12, 14, 24.
First title in Chennai. Don't forget.
Chennai as
Same
well.
Chepauk.
Oh God, there's so much history.
Shah Rukh standing on top of the stands. And you're wondering whether he was going to fly.
I thought he was going to fall.
Yeah, you were there, right?
I thought he was going to fall. I was very worried. That's not a very high railing. But he's a fit man, so there was no problem. But just as long as he's fine. There was a heat stroke in Ahmedabad for the King, but the King's going to be there, of course, in Chennai again. Please don't get up on that railing. It's very low. Makes me very nervous as a fan. Probably no changes. I mean, definitely no changes for the Knight Riders as well. I mean, that team is looking pretty solid, and they've got Gurbaz at the top instead of Phil Salt. So, plenty of options galore. I don't even want to ask you guys, but if you had to give an advantage to anybody right now, would you even dare to?
I would still say KKR has a slight advantage, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Their batting is less dependent on one or two players. I think the point out here is they're really dependent on three players doing well for them. Klaasen, the two openers, are a lot of it for them. Rahul Tripaঠি's come good recently.
More players in form for
More players in form, and they've got a little bit more punch in the tail. So if you see the tail between Russell and Rinku, it gives you Ramandeep Russell Rinku is quite a powerful tail.
Point.
So that is the one place where I don't think, where with Samad and all, they've just not been the form. They've not delivered. Those 6, 7, 8 have not delivered for SRH. I think that is the only difference. Otherwise, I think the bowling stacks up well. The way they bowled on this pitch, I think they stack up well. I still think Sunil Narayan is a cut above every bowler who's going to bowl tomorrow.
Okay.
So those 2-3 slight advantages that say KKR has.
For you, Dooley?
I think KKR have just been playing such good cricket. And they seem to have so many bases covered. They bat powerfully to 8, sometimes 9.
Yeah.
Mitch Starc, more than capable of hitting the ball out of the park if he has to. So I agree with Joy on that front. They just have that power all the way down the order, and they have more players contributing regularly all the way down the order. Few days off compared to having played a game on the pitch brings the Sunrisers back into the equation.
Great.
For me, because they now know. They know what to expect. They've had a win. They've bounced, they're bouncing back now. Had a good win. I just think, I'd still have KKR slightly ahead. But the Sunrisers, after tonight's performance, have bounced back in my expectations to make it what hopefully will be a cracking final.
Okay, great. He's given us nothing at the end of that. He's not picked a team. Have you? 51-49 is not good enough for me.
He's joining politics.
Yeah.
You have a son named Hunter. You've got to join politics.
I tell you what.
President Doull.
If you tune
President Doull, I like it.
If you tune in before the final, I'll be here and I'll tell you who's going to win.
No. Oh. President Doull crystal balling it. That's going to be on Sunday at 7 p.m. So, do join us then. Of course, you're going to join us then. You're diehard fans. If you're watching at midnight, you're going to join us then. Players to watch out for each team. Come on, big call.
No, for me, Sunil Narayan. He's just He's the big player for them. I think it makes a huge difference. And I think Travis Head played an interesting innings today. He held himself in check, waiting for opportunity. Didn't happen. I still think he's a big player for big days.
Okay, so 2 left-handed openers, good.
Starc and Cummins.
The bowler's gone for the bowlers. The fast bowler's gone for the fast bowlers.
Hey, you pay the bucks. You pay them to win your tournaments. You pay them to stand up on the big days when you need them.
Yeah.
And one of those two has an opportunity to do it.
I like it. I have the headline for it as well. Friends turn foes. Mitchell Starc, Pat Cummins, big money. Who's going to get this trophy? Well, Hyderabad has won it twice. Well, different teams, but they won it twice. And Kolkata has won it twice as well. So somebody going to get a hat-trick on the Sunday. Okay. This next part of the show we do for free. That's the Joy Factor question. None of you get any money, so don't get too happy if you get it right.
This is a great moment. This was like...
Thank you for really building it up.
Oh, honestly.
Okay, which cricketer's nickname is derived from his father's nickname and sounds as if it's an emergency?
So let me tell you what happened. Come back to me, I'll tell you.
Come back.
So my record with Joy Factor questions over 6 years is pretty much 0. right? I think I may have got one correct because even a broken watch tells you the time right twice in a day. So I got one correct. Today, as soon as that question came, I had no idea what he was talking about. No idea from which country, which era, which gender. I had no idea, right? And I just randomly said SOS.
Yeah.
And guess what?
That's the answer. Sean Marsh called SOS, meaning son of Swampy, as his father Jeff's nickname was Swampy Marsh.
That is just nuts.
So they call him Sauce.
Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce, son of Swampy.
That's brilliant.
And you just blurted it out for everybody without even knowing you blurted it out for
That's
everybody.
right.
And then I was trying to sort of,
Yeah,
I was trying to cover it up by going, well, I really don't know why. I guessed it basically straight away in the green room.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, because I knew, but I was trying to sort of cover it up so that everybody wouldn't just write down what you write down. But I think people.
I'll tell you
got
one
it.
thing though.
People got it.
People have seen me enough and they know they're not trust anything I say.
It's a good point.
So they're not going to answer. They're going to like, that's, if we know there's one answer that's wrong, it's the one that GK said. And I think that's what happened. As Confucius says, be wary of he who knows not and knows not that he knows not. But here's somebody who did know. The correct answer came from Sadhana. Yeah. Congratulations.
I like
Sadhana, Sana, Aloof. Which one's the name? All right. Well, so Sadhana, congratulations to you. Well done. It is the correct
Even
answer.
if there was a prize, it'd be hard to find.
Yeah. I love it. It's great. I don't know how I got it right. I just don't know. I'm very happy. I wish I'd had that kind of dumb luck in the guessing game today because I didn't. And Manoj Tiwari on the Hindi show has got it right twice because Tom Kohler Cadmo hit 10 of 16 balls in the power play and did me in proper.
Wow.
And which means that
You have been dethroned.
dethroned with 1 day to go.
On the, well, you're like Rajasthan, aren't you, Rick?
I am. It's terrible.
Wait,
and
you
he's
got-
like RCB.
You need to get 2 right today and tomorrow and on the finals.
I mean, the thing is that my percentages, because I've played the most games, my percentages don't go up that much. He even gets 1 right and he wins.
But if he gets none and you get 1, that's 50% for you. Does yours go above? Yours will go above him.
I think
27.38,
Just a
28.07.
smidge. Like I'm
Yeah.
points.
If you get 1 right and he gets both wrong,
Yeah, I'm
You're fine.
I'm 0.7 behind him. Would that happen, Bihan? Do quick math on your...
if you get 50% and he gets 0, surely you'll go above him.
no, it's number of matches. So he's
Yeah,
got the
true.
total number of matches.
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
if I get 1...
You get 1, he loses
But he needs
both.
to lose both.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if he gets 1 and I get 1, he wins.
Yeah, well, if he
Last
gets,
day.
Yeah, exactly. But if he gets none and you get 1,
You know what?
so hey, you're telling me there's a chance.
Jim Carrey. Dumb and dumber. Dumb and dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. Alrighty then. I just want to say that in this country, essentially, politicians always win.
Can we just have one more look at that board? I just want one more look at that leaderboard because there's a. So if you look at the top 5,
Yeah.
Tiwari, Kapur, Kher, Bhattacharjya, and Doull. What's the one thing missing from one person in that top 5?
Bullseye?
Yeah.
From me?
So I don't think you can win it without a bullseye.
I'm the chairman
I
of this
just
game.
don't think you can win it without a. I mean,
See you in Dubai. We'll have this meeting in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah?
No problem.
That's where the general council meeting will be. They're gonna do
Anyway,
it.
politicians are winning here. You're meeting people in Dubai. What is happening here?
It's all very dodgy.
That's one thing.
Cricbuzz Live, the dodgiest show you can watch. But you're part of it now. You're part of our dodgy family. So yeah, take us through to the finale. Let's close this dodgy time on this dodgy show, this dodgy family on Sunday at 7 p.m. We're going to see you then. Just like it came down to net run rate on the final day to choose between 2 and 3. On the day before that, between 4 and 5. It's going to come down between Manoj Tiwari and me on that final day. Simon Doull is going to be here as well. So it's going to be a very interesting race to the finish. I still can't believe that I've been dethroned like this on the last day. It's a very hard pill for me to swallow. I'm not gracious at all. I'm a very sore loser. So, I don't know, I may break a table or so. You want to be here for that. All right, that's all we have time for. We've got to go. Big thank you to Simon Doull and Joy Bhattacharjya. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Good night.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
Hyderabad को 50 एक्सप्रेस पौरबोटी स्टेशन नेताजी भवन कृपया ध्यान दें